Billy, Chris, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Hey.
Nice to see you guys. I will tell you what you missed, which is at the very end of Tuesday, as folks were leaving, Wild Willie Wednesday began, and this is how Stugotz did it. You guys weren't here for this. I wonder, Tony, I think you were here. Stugotz was speaking to a very crowded room.
Oh, I was here for that.
From the Boys and Girls Club of, what are we going to say, between 15 and 20 teenagers, young teens?
Yeah. Great kids. Love those kids.
And their parents, some.
Billy and Chris, you will not be surprised by this, but I do think there's the risk that you will be appalled. So what was the age range for the kids who were there with a smattering of adults?
High schools, so probably like 9 to 12th grade.
Yeah, but also young high school, correct? In the middle of the room, while talking to the kids, Stugotz, always authentic, never authentic, just hit them in the face with an F-bomb.
Nice.
I did, yeah.
In what context?
You know, I just said if anyone told me I'd be doing this 20 years ago, I would have laughed them out of the fucking room.
Yeah.
No.
Unnecessary there, I'd say.
It was unnecessary.
That was
unnecessary there.
I had no idea they were coming. I have to be honest with you. I had no idea I was going to have to speak to them, and so I just let it fly.
Stugotz, I'm going to tell you right now. What you did was you bought credibility with them.
Thank
You're
you.
an adult who used an F-bomb in like an official setting.
Kids love that.
They
They're
do
like,
love it.
He's
Kids
the
love
coolest.
Yes.
Whatever this guy says,
Yes.
I'm following him forever.
Yes,
Did someone ask you to speak to them, or you just volunteered to do so?
I walked out there, and Mike Ryan seemed like he was out of words, and so I had to step in and say something.
Mike kind of lobbed
Yes.
something over to you to say, like, it's Stugotz, why don't you say something? Then he said that, and then he kind of walked out and smoked a cigarette.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
did.
the secret.
Yeah.
When Mike's around,
Great
just bring
heater.
children
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
He'll stop talking.
Mike out of words is something I did not think I would ever hear.
Well, to be honest, Mike went out. So we were in the shipping container. It was me, Zaz, Mike, and Roy. And then the kids started piling up. And then Mike beelined it out. The moment he opened the door, he was on display. He was making things happen. He was saying things for like 15 minutes straight.
Was this like a reward for these children or a punishment? Like, I mean this respectfully. Like,
It was inspirational,
were these
I think.
delinquents? Like, this was like a scared straight
Delinquents.
situation? I'm just asking. I'm trying to get
Lovely
them.
kids.
I'm sure they were, but I'm saying, are we trying to set them on the straight and narrow here, or this is like a reward for like straight A's
Are you
or
saying,
something?
are we trying to give?
Like, this could be you if you don't sharpen up, is what I'm trying to figure
Well,
out.
no, you weren't here, so they didn't see you.
Or if you do sharpen up, this could be you. You know what I'm asking?
I think that Chris and Billy took that to a place that I was not expecting. I will ask you again your thoughts on Stugotz generally doing that to a group full of young men. I thought it was inappropriate, but I didn't even hear it. I was told about it afterward. There was murmuring through the crowd of shocked adolescents that who's this little guy who just
Don't be naive, man. I mean, kids are cursing
those
at the
kids,
age of 5.
Yeah, those kids have heard that word before. He didn't introduce.
My-
Did you do that as a coach?
My father, I will
All
tell,
the time,
I will
yes.
tell you guys, my father,
Credibility.
his oldest friends will remind him that he told a group of us who were 7 or 8 or 9 years old, he reprimanded us for cursing one time. And he said, there is not anything to be gained by cursing. He yelled at us, not a damn thing.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat from the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go one man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys because I don't think Stugotz and I live the same life. I think he does a very good job and has had to do a very good job over 20 years of sort of like shaking off that day's show and just going home and living his life so that it doesn't feel bad. But yesterday, I made a mistake. That I took with me all the way home because I saw across the room the just glee from the piranha because all of them leapt to attention when I described some of my friends as math friends. And so I just left the vulnerable opening to the group. The group saw it and said, "Oh, he's got math friends, does he? Let's eviscerate him."
Yes. Greg Cody's head was down. He looked up. We locked eyes. I looked at him. He looked at me, and we knew it was time to go in on Dan.
I'm not going to lie. I saw the clip. I wasn't in yesterday. I see the clip. And as Dan says it, in my mind, I'm like, man, I hope they pounce on him for this. And then 10 seconds later, they did. I was very proud.
Thank you.
Proud of the boys.
It was 10 seconds late, but I saw it on their face before then. I was trying to like do what cats do with kitty litter before that, like just don't look at this. I don't want. But everyone leapt to attention, and so the thing that I wanted to ask Amin off of last night's game, because Stugotz has argued that the Knicks are better than the Pacers, and over a 7-game series, you guys make fun of me all the time about what I've been saying about hedge funds.
Your math friends agree, right? I mean,
well, I want to ask Amin this question based on sort of how gambling works, okay? And I want to ask all of you this question. So how are the casinos sort of built? What is the math being used that builds the casinos so that unless you're Trump, it's very hard to go bankrupt because all the math favors the probability of the casinos endlessly printing money? You guys understand how those are built, right? The games have whatever it is, a 54 or 55% built-in advantage, right?
Yep.
The question I want to ask Amin is, if Cat and Brunson on the court at the same time is a defensive liability, if Brunson is the worst player in the playoffs on defense, and what I end up doing is play the math probabilities of how it is all of these games have been sharpened, so you will attack the maximum inefficiency in a way that skews the probabilities in your favor. The Pacers being able to attack Brunson on defense over a 7-game series where Carlisle can figure out how to again and again get offense that makes Halliburton, in a playoff game, control the entire game with 0 turnovers. Zero turnovers because the Knicks defense is not going to bother you. The Pacers are going to play how they want. They're going to score up 130. It's not even going to feel like a playoff game, and they're going to feel like they finished the Knicks right there. Is that one math probability what's being exploited in this series that changes the series, or is it just a bounce in game one? That's kind of lucky.
I don't know if that's math. It's basketball, right? Where you are saying, hey, their defense drops precipitously after every additional rotation they have to make. So the first guy guarding the ball, Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby or Deuce McBride, he's really good. Right? But then we bring some screen action or whatever it is, and now they've got to make a decision. Either Cat is going to sag and the guy's going to have to fight over, or Cat's going to have to come up and double, or they're going to switch. Either way, at that point, that triggers rotation. And so if we keep moving the ball quick, right? Not holding it, but quick, there's another rotation that has to happen. The Knicks aren't good at that. They're good at that first one, but then the second one and then the third one, it all falls apart.
But when I'm talking about the Pacers are really good at the front end of we're going to be great at all of this. We're number one in pace. This is how we beat you.
Right.
And you've got great perimeter defense, 1 or 2 passes in, but now we're going to get maximum efficient shots. I feel like it's just sort of a shredder on attack Brunson. And the analysis I did not have from anyone before this series is Brunson's the liability in this series. He's the liability because a player that size can't win, at least in part because, and certainly now more than ever, he can't guard. The bigger guys aren't scared of him, and so he becomes just an unbelievable weakness, even if he somehow gets to 30, some kind of efficiently.
With all that said, they're a lucky shot away from having this series tied at 2 games apiece, headed back to the Mecca. I mean, it's a weird way to watch sports. Who wants to watch sports and think about probabilities?
How did you feel last night?
I mean, I felt bad. The Knicks lost. It's 3-1, but we're headed back to Madison Square Garden. The Knicks had to win. After going down 2-0, they had to win a road game to get it back to the Mecca. And, going into last night, I said to myself, you have to win Game 4 or you have to win Game 6 because the best case scenario for the Knicks at this point is to get a Game 7 on their home court. Can they still do that? Yes.
So I will ask you and the group because Stugotz will not give you the tiers until he has to.
No.
He's not going to get, and I don't
I'm
know.
proud of this team. I like this team. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We got a shot at making the NBA Finals. It's not a great shot, but we still have a shot. I'll take it.
I still believe, Billy, do you think I have this wrong? I still believe that Stugotz giving us perspective in his 50s is very adult, but I'm not buying it. I don't believe it. I believe in it. He's in hiding. He's a loud New Yorker, and he does not want anyone to see his pain until he absolutely has to give it to them.
I don't know that he has pain available to give with this team. I'm not sure how invested he actually is in the Knicks. So it's being masked as perspective when it's really, I can't find the pain.
I'm not going to fire Tom Thibodeau today. I'm not going to do it. I'll wait till the series is over. I mean, people are already firing that guy. Get out of here.
We have 2 Mecca references by him already today, so he's still feeling it.
Yeah.
He's still in it.
No, I want to address this, though, because Billy just made the accusation that I made last week that Stugotz denied, which is I don't believe he actually cares enough here to hurt. I don't like you in order to understand what New York is presently feeling. And I do want to flip the other side of this for a second because my God, it must feel better right now to be Indiana basketball than almost ever in the history of Indiana basketball. It's not just Stugotz. Okay, hold on a
Are
second.
you counting the Hoosiers? Or
I'm counting everything in the
Really?
history. I'm saying that this Pacers team, for this reason, okay, for this particular reason in 2025, to have Triple H or 50 Cent or whatever celebrity counter there is to Spike Lee so you can no longer be, oh, shucks, small town Indiana against all the big things New York is. To be a series underdog, you guys can laugh at all this.
I'm laughing because those are all Knicks fans that were imported in. That doesn't count.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, they had Timothée
Yes.
Chalamet and Ben Stiller. Yeah, they did. They came to watch the Knicks.
Why would 50 Cent be a Pacers
He's
fan?
not. He's a Knicks fan.
I'm just saying the celebrities came to you. The party came to you. Indiana does not often get to feel like it's one of the big cities in sports or anywhere. Whatever you think are the best Pacer teams, they're bringing back royalty when they bring back Jermaine O'Neal. When they bring back Jermaine O'Neal,
That's some lame royalty,
They brought
man.
back Lance Stevenson and George Hill.
Yeah.
Like,
Woof.
George Hill?
That's what That's what they're countering the Knicks with. And what I'm saying is the reason it feels good is because, oh, we took out all these big bad people. We're tiny little Indiana and we get to win. And now Stugotz is going to do the thing. He'll pivot as soon as they lose to, nobody wants to watch Indiana OKC.
I mean, no one does. Who wants to watch that? It's boring.
Mike Epps hates Pat McAfee, right? He has.
Stole his perch.
Like, Mike Epps figured it out. He's like, I'm just going to be the Pacers guy, and I'll have courtside tickets forever and ever as the Pacers guy. And if they ever get to this point, I was there the entire time. I'll still be there. So he's been rooting for the Pacers, and he's committed to this life in Indiana just to get the perks of being a Pacers fan because Mike Epps in, the 2020s is not Mike Epps of the aughts. You know what I mean? So
Oh, you stumbled onto another
happening?
Wild Billy Wednesday. Hold on to your hats, partners. It's about to get wild.
He's a Patty come lately.
I'm just asking. And just Mike Epps has been there, right? And now all of a sudden, Pat comes by.
Does
He's a
Mike
bigger
Epps,
star.
put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show, does Mike Epps hate Pat McAfee? Because Pat McAfee has taken over. Pat McAfee is wearing a shirt, overrate that in honor of Halliburton is becoming a star. You guys laughed at me, best Pacers team ever. I know that can be an overreaction. I'm just saying the way this team feels to that community right now feels as good as basketball can feel to that community.
Dan, I interviewed the radio play-by-play voice for the Pacers, and I asked him the exact question, how does this compare? And he says, it depends on what happens from here. Obviously, those...
Look at me,
What a flex.
That was a big one.
You know what I hear? I heard, look at me, bona fides. Because what you're saying is not echoed by the people from Indiana. Those Reggie Miller teams were still... That's the gold standard because those were the first ones. The Indiana Pacers had made the playoffs, I want to say, twice in their NBA history. until Reggie Miller and Dale Davis and those guys, and then they started winning and going to conference finals, and that big shot they hit against Jordan in 98 and to force a Game 7, and obviously going to the finals in 2000. That's the gold standard for Indiana basketball. That's the thing that put them on the map as far as, hey, we matter too. This right here is echoing that. It's bringing it back, and of course they're happy. This feels great, and you're right. They knocked off Giants and all that, but no, it's not the happiest they've ever been.
So those Reggie Miller teams were the first teams to not win a championship. That's the team that holds Indiana's heart right now. Move on. Pacer fans, move on. Halliburton's better than Reggie Miller. He's better. Is he not? Halliburton's the best Pacer in the history of Indiana basketball. How about that?
Well, Larry Bird coached them. Does that not? That doesn't count.
Doesn't
different,
count,
Different
no.
category.
Yeah.
Regardless,
He's boring too,
I just like to. I think there's a conversation to be had here about me speaking on behalf of Indiana when Indiana would not want me speaking on behalf
not
of
at all.
Indiana. But that part of America treasures basketball in a way that's a bit disproportionate to the way the rest of the country treasures basketball. That part of the country has had very little winning in basketball, and when Amin mentions the team that he does, Reggie Miller is a hero in that market because he led a villainous Indiana squad to pretty close to the top of the sport, and sorry, Michael Jordan's really good.
Yeah.
And so a whole generation of parents and grandparents see the best Pacer team. It's a little bit hated. It's rugged and rough. It's got personality. That's your grandpa's team. That's your dad's team. And Amin speaks for them as the, what we called you? The elder.
Unc is better.
He's not wrong, but this team has not yet lost. This team has been best in the league good the last, 60 games. And this team has done something else, Stugotz, that I think is worth celebrating if you put down your biases of, no, I just wanted the Knicks in the finals. That's the interesting final, big market.
But can an argument be made, and you guys will say no, but can an argument be made that you look fondly more over being a really like a roadblock, a thorn in the side of Michael Jordan, and that's more of like a feather in your cap than beating Jalen Brunson?
Fair enough, but this is the time that we're living in, and nostalgia, I guess, is going to win all the arguments on this. Is why Stugotz can say Michael Jordan's the best ever, because there were 6 Reggie Millers of that era, and Reggie was about the 6th best of them.
Maybe.
And that's as high as Indiana climbed when the legacy was being written, when the history was being written. But this dude and his dad are not afraid of what this moment is, and when I say they're dragging into this America, divided as it is, however oppressed the white person feels in Indiana about things, to knock off New York when New York is throwing trash at your fans, and to have McAfee rise up as a voice on behalf of your region because nobody wants your region in the finals, that's some bleep you that they get to fight with America on that feels really the top of sports. It's the best stuff. Oh, you don't like our guy and he beats the respect out of you with 0 turnovers in a game you need? Your celebrities come in and Halliburton controls the entire game because we've maximized the inefficiency. You cannot guard us. You will not be able to guard us for the next 3 games. Our pace will beat you. We have the casino's advantage the rest of the way.
Can we hit Dan with the straw man argument, please?
All right, hold on a second. Let me find it for a second.
Nice.
Because you think there's a straw man here?
Yeah.
I think anyone but Tyrese Halliburton think it's Tyrese Halliburton against America right now.
You don't think Indiana will conjure that storyline for itself?
No.
Just basketball, man.
The thing about what you're saying is, first of all, when you say, do you think Tyrese Halliburton's overrated? That was based on a player poll, not a nation poll. I don't think the nation thinks Tyrese Halliburton is overrated. That was a player poll, and as the great Rachel Nichols did the math, it came out to about 7 players. 7 players, because out of the sample size wasn't all 450, it was like 50 or something like that. And so when they did the math, it was like 7 guys voted Tyrese Halliburton is the most overrated. So to say, it's the most straw man of straw man arguments, nobody hates Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe Knicks fans do because they're on the losing end, but that's not a sentiment that's shared by the basketball public. The only thing that's real is what Stugotz is saying, is that there's a genuine fear that we're going to have a Pacers-Thunder NBA Finals, and that sounds boring. It's not going to be boring if you actually watch the games, but it sounds boring because Indiana's a boring place and Oklahoma, God knows, is a boring place.
Straw man.
I miss that sound.
I was very adamant yesterday about TJ McConnell, about the Pacers, about how they play college style. They pick you up 94 feet. They slap the floor on defense. But after much thought, I'm actually back. I'm back. If Indiana and OKC make it to the finals, you've got a great offense versus a great defense. I think I'm back.
I want to understand if you guys think what Amin is saying is true, because I would say that I'm not conjuring narrative or storyline when I say Halliburton, even if it's by virtue of just his dad, that's the most villainous thing you've got remaining. Like, if Indiana wants to wrap itself in the cape of nobody wants us, nobody wants to see us, nobody likes our team, and we've got a guy that in the final seconds will do the choke sign because he's not afraid of any of it. Like, they will, like, maybe that gets swept by OKC. Maybe it loses in 5 games. But right now, I believe in it as much as I believe in any Indiana team that I've ever watched play basketball if I live in Indiana and care about the Pacers.
And you've watched them all. I mean, you're a Pacer fan.
I'll tell you right now, the biggest villains in the playoffs right now are the Oklahoma City Thunder. They hate them because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets to the free throw line. They hate them because they foul up 3. They hate them because – you know why they hate them, Stugotz? They hate them because all the year long, they're like, well, they're not going to win because of this, that, and the other. And now they're steamrolling, and it's like, holy crap, they're actually going to win this. None of those concerns that you had mattered. It doesn't matter. They're just that good.
I was thinking about Halliburton and SGA. They are superstars, but here's the problem. They're superstars who don't dunk. That's why this series is going to be. They don't dunk. They have no dunk game. They have no drive game. They don't, they don't give you the splashy plays. Halliburton has a push shot. It looks like every time he's taking a jumper, it's the first time he's taken a jumper. I mean,
Stu, tell me you don't watch without telling me you don't watch. Halliburton shook Giannis, okay, and then finished it with a slam.
Guys,
do it more often.
Stugotz, if I may, on what you just saw last night. You guys don't want the math. How about the simplicity of this? Controlling the game on a finger with a number 2 that could go for a quiet 30, because Siakam has been historically, we could say he's a very good number 2 and uniquely equipped to do some of the things in the modern game two-way that Brunson cannot. Siakam, I don't know if you'd say he's underrated. Maybe he gets exposed in the next series, but he can go for 30 at any time, and you wouldn't have been laughed out of the room if before this series you'd asked out loud, hey, who's the better players, Siakam and Halliburton? It wouldn't have been much of an argument, but some people who've been watching Indiana basketball would say, look, Siakam's a really good number 2. And Siakam does the secondary thing last night, but the game was controlled on the finger of somebody. The triple-double with no turnovers is asinine. Like, you're not playing any defense, or the mastery of offense is such that if you're a traditional point guard and you can do that against playoff Knicks basketball, that is something that is very close to a perfect game, even if you only make half of your shots.
He's the first player in NBA history to have 30-plus points, 15-plus assists, 10-plus rebounds, 5-plus threes, and 0 turnovers in any game, regular season or postseason.
That is mathematically described as pretty close to unstoppable when a playoff team goes 130, and the way they beat you is because this part is boring. Yes, OKC wins because they cause more turnovers than anyone. They turn the ball over less than anyone, and they got top 5 offense, top 5 defense. That's the obvious way they win. But this is a different thing, and among all the things that exist as a spaceship, this with pace might be able to say, now I don't think it can, because I think Halliburton will look far different against the OKC defense, because the OKC defense will strangle Anthony Edwards and your dunkers and Jokic and everybody. It's not going to be fun. The end of the NBA season, I think, if OKC doesn't have an injury, is just going to be a boa constrictor, just squeezing the fun out of the sport for the last 4 games.
Now you're coming around.
Can I give you a minor gripe as a Hooper and on behalf of Hoopers, and you guys can agree or disagree with me on this situation? So, Tyrese Halliburton, I think part of the problem here is he needs his own thing, right? Like doing the choke like Reggie does on a shot that didn't end up winning the game.
Felt forced.
It did feel.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know if there's words here. So doing the choke thing, I feel like was slightly forced. Yesterday, he hits a 3 over Brunson, and then he does Brunson's celebration, right? Yeah. Earlier, he does kind of like the big, like the marbles situation, like the big, like balls. I feel like he needs his own.
He did a Dame time also.
Yeah,
against
like
Milwaukee.
here's the thing. Imagine if you're like an up and coming superhero, right? Or like even you're, I don't know, an established superhero that we don't know much about. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're qualified for this as both a hooper and a nerd.
Yeah.
So like the Green Lantern, like when he does something, imagine him putting up the bat signal. Like that's not exactly how this goes. Like.
Right.
You need your own thing. Would Kobe Bryant do this? Not to bring up Kobe, but would
hold
Kobe?
on.
Would
Hold
no?
on. You mean Kobe? Oh, I think I saw Michael do this
No,
one time.
You can
No.
bring up Kobe. It's fine.
I'm just saying that Kobe does.
Wolves don't concern themselves with the thoughts of sheep.
Oh, there it is.
And here's the problem.
What about the thoughts of Thunder?
He's too worried about kind of having these moments and doing other people's celebrations in their face. You got to have your own thing.
Yes. Also, though, as Dan likes to remind us, nostalgia plays. Nostalgia plays, and he's like the ultimate, like, you see the kids wearing cross colors and get with the flat top. You're like, wait a second.
Cross colors?
Yeah, you don't see these kids walking around. They're like 19, but they're dressed like it's 1991, and you're like, what the hell? But it's like, hey, they discovered this old thing and they want to bring it back. And I kind of feel like Tyrese Halliburton is kind of like that. He's this guy that's watching old 90s basketball and says, you know what? Everyone loves the 90s, right? Everyone talks about basketball today, not as good as it was in the 90s. So what do? You just pretend and cosplay like it's the 90s. So you do the big balls dance, you do the choke sign, and now everyone has this 90s nostalgia attached to it. And to the point where you got Dan Le Batard saying this is the greatest Indiana Pacers team ever. Why? Because the nostalgia is cloaked around it.
Maybe his thing is doing your thing when he beats you. That could be his thing.
It's his thing.
Right? His Dame time. He's got the big balls dance. He's got the Jalen Brunson three.
I don't see what I mean seeing. I am embracing the merging of this is exactly how villains and superstars are born. And you guys can call him a mimic or a copycat if you wish, but I thought Tatum got some of this when he was celebrating, because he was celebrating like Kevin Garnett celebrated when he won in Boston. And it was like watching someone try to learn how they're supposed to behave as they enter stardom. And in some ways, I don't want to infantilize young 20s people, but as they find their voice as adults in whatever it is they're going to be as a professional, they have to figure out how to express joy in front of others. And in the case of Halliburton, he's doing some copycatting in the most arrogant and wonderful and confident ways. Like, okay.
How about hit a game winner and then do the choke thing? Don't do it to
Right.
tie
He did,
the
though.
game.
He did
and
hit a
also,
game winner.
He
look,
extended the game. That's all
lucky
he did.
shot.
Yes.
That was
was
the
series
worst.
prior.
Lucky shot. Maybe his thing is being corny because he's from Indiana, but like, get your own thing.
It's from Milwaukee, actually.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing but net.
Blaze your own path. That's what Billy is saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
fair
trailblazing.
enough. It's hard to argue when he says bah. But I would just say, I mean, in the last 4 games, I think I can say something I didn't think I was going to be saying, because he says make a shot.
I was wrong.
Halliburton is whatever he is, 10 for 12 this season or 12 for 14 on shots to tie or lead with less than 2 minutes in the game. So he's clutchier than Brunson, who empirically before this was the clutchiest. I don't have that wrong, right? So when he says make a game-winning shot, I can counter with he makes more efficiently than anyone in the sport.
Put that on the poll. Who's clutchier, Brunson or Halliburton?
Correct? Do I have it wrong?
Look, he's made these shots, and it's pretty remarkable. I think Brunson has not been good this series. We could say that. But, Brunson would point to 80-some games of him doing it, and that's what gave him the award. But, yeah, no, it's...
But it was like 10 of 12. Like 12 is not a big sample size at all.
Of game-winning or game-leading shots?
12 shots.
I'm blown away by that stat.
That was interesting to see that particular thing sweep across the room where Billy was just bah. And I'm looking at Chris, and I'm like, well, he's not reacting.
90%, by the
But that's
way.
how Wild Willie Wednesdays work, and you got to just understand that.
Billy, it's 10 out of 12 in the
12
most
shots.
clutchiest moments of the game.
Like he is.
Right. I mean, Billy's saying put yourself in that position more often. That's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
But they were
right.
blowing teams out, which is
Like
why
the
they weren't
greats.
in that situation, because they were like 40 and 14 for the last 50
listen,
games.
Game 7 of the finals, that's clutch. Regular season, I mean, no one's even playing.
You know
no one
what?
cares.
So he's correct. He says Game 7 of the finals is clutch. I will just remind you that Stugotz said that if Draymond Green didn't have Steph Curry, he would be a Shanghai Shark. And Draymond Green once had 32 in a Game 7 of the finals. So it doesn't really buy you what you're saying. It buys you there because do it in a game 7 and also win the game. You have to do that as well.
Right. One clutch moment for Draymond. I mean, he was there because of Steph. He wouldn't have that clutch moment if not for Steph Curry.
Blind squirrel finds a nut.
And
thank
so,
you. Well said.
Okay, we
Wow.
are, I would say, wildly disrespectful.
Whoa.
But the wild disrespect around here of someone who is great at what he does, like Draymond Green, I think, pales compared to Billy's wild disrespect of the award-winning Pablo Torre finds out. What? And yes, Billy right now, he
Award nominated, to be fair.
Thank you.
Well, he's won awards.
Good clarification.
I mean, you submit yourself for $3,000 a year, you're bound to win one or two.
Win the big one.
what is the big one? What is
Whatever the big one is.
But what is the big?
It should be called the big one.
I know, thank you, but I'm asking you to tell me what is the big award. Peabody. I think he'd argue on behalf of the Peabody that would be the big one. I think if. I don't.
He's nominated, but once they start seeing the smut that he's trafficking in right now with Bill Belichick, I guarantee you, there's no way to lose yourself a Peabody more than to be suing North Carolina over trying to find Bill Belichick emails.
Billy, are you saying that they're not going to give the Pulitzer to the National Enquirer?
You said that, not me.
Well, no. What you did say though is you officially said Pablo Torre has gone well past creepy.
No, I said we're entering creepy. Publicly, I was prepared to say we're entering creepy Torre with
well
the whole
past
Belichick.
creepy.
No,
That's
publicly.
the same.
No,
They're not the same.
Those
thing.
are
How about
the
privately,
same
though?
thing.
Privately.
No.
Those
For
are
the
the
record,
same thing.
publicly, I was prepared to say we're entering creepy territory.
Privately, though?
Privately, that's not what I said at all. I said we're well past it. I mean, it's weird. It seems like we're trying to search for a sex tape at this point or something. He gets going and he's renting out Airbnbs and he's cosplaying as Belichick, laying in his bed. Like, what is the end game here, Spence?
I will just tell you that I was I don't know if I don't want a spoiler alert on a Wednesday, but The Last of Us. If you were not caught up,
I'm not.
Okay, just
Spoiler alert Wednesday. Sorry.
I got a baby, so it's extended to next week.
there is a scene.
Not how that works.
There is a scene where a very important character dies in a way that's a bit surprising and physically. What happened, Tony?
There's only like 3 important characters in the situation, so a third of them me guessing.
It's a spoiler alert.
Now I'm going to be looking at all the main characters like,
All
oh,
right,
you're going to get the accent.
all right, I mean, so all it is
You got it,
is
Dan. Keep going.
imagine someone standing in front of you and you shoot them in the.
Oh, man.
Only so many people would shoot someone.
Now Tony's like, oh, if there's a gun in the scene, I've got it.
There's a lot of guns in all the
Okay,
scenes.
all right, look. Forgive me. I still don't know how Spoiler Alert Wednesday works. I just would like for any of you to imagine what it would look like if somebody was shot at in the shins by something very powerful and then just fell on their face dead. That is how I came in today when I had plans for today, and Billy undercut me at the shins with saying Belichick is well past, or that Pablo is well past creepy, and that I've got to rein him in.
I didn't say that publicly.
That everybody
Privately.
involved, that everyone involved is well past creepy. Pablo worst of all. I feel like is what you were giving me.
No. It sounds like you're projecting now. It sounds like maybe you agree with me, so now we're kind of like just assigning those thoughts to me.
I think
An
what I love about the award-winning Pablo Torre is
Award
doing
nominated.
is that it's got unbelievable range. It has really, unlike any other podcast in the space, it's got wild range.
Have you ever heard Pablo's like mission statement for the show? It's to do smart things dumbly and to do dumb things smartly. That's
obnoxious.
basically what he.
I'm with you, Chief.
Isn't that what this show is?
That is exactly what this show is.
I think we do dumb things pretty dumbly.
Well, we do them smartly sometimes.
Okay, look, I don't want to do this. He's the award-nominated, Peabody-nominated Pablo Torre, and he's also creepy. But what I was saying to you is that that was Billy's second, worst take, or
Worst?
the second cruelest take, or the second
private conversation.
Okay, but the private conversation.
You're in charge of this company. I have to, we have these conversations. So maybe say, hey, Pablo, maybe you stop, trying to dabble in the sex life of a 71-year-old and a 24-year-old a little bit here, Right. So maybe let's look bro here. I'm trying to win a Peabody here. Maybe let's stop, with the whole Belichick thing.
When he talks like that, it's private. Tim.
Yeah, that's private. I thought you knew. Right. I'm going to have to come up with a new private
I thought
voice
you were
now.
doing Belichick there.
No.
He's a private guy, so that makes sense that he voice sounds like that.
The Peabody is highfalutin. I think that is the big one. I don't know what do you guys imagine is the big award that everybody would want to win in.
I like the Sports Podcast Awards. Yeah, those are big
Those are my
ones for
favorite,
us.
yeah.
Actually, I like what Billy said earlier is that we should start an award, call it the big one.
Yeah,
and then that'll be the
I'm on
premier.
it. Yes.
How can you argue that that's the big one if that's what it's
You know
called?
what? This is what I'm going to argue. This is what I'm going to argue, okay? I'm telling all of you guys that within an hour, I'm going to award the big one.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You have that power?
I'm gonna personally. I want to get it.
Congrats to Pablo.
In the no, I don't
And
think
Samson.
I'm not even sure that they're going to win.
Hockey show.
This is his first nomination. This is the Hockey Show's first nomination.
I
of the
will.
big
I
one.
will tell you that I would be willing to give the big one right now. If none of you are watching this, you're missing what Yeti and Chris, I said this yesterday, are doing for an old man to produce him in a way that creates a funny chemistry with not very much in the way of post-production costs on the editing. So the show looks exactly as you would imagine it if a 70-year-old grandpa was doing it from a closet with Chris Cody, who I'm guessing is wearing sunglasses because he's baked. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm just going for a thing.
Right,
It's like on
yeah.
that show, I wear sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's like a new character I'm working
Okay,
on.
yes.
Okay.
And
I'm
so
with it.
in the
The
most
character is just you wear sunglasses.
Cannabis Chris.
I did a couple weeks with no hat and sunglasses. So
Not
like
bad
no
look for you.
hat, sunglasses on my dad's show, hat, no sunglasses here. Two different people.
Okay, you without a hat is one thing. This takes me back to the Billy take I was telling you about that I think is worse than the take that Pablo is creepy.
I was
Is this private or public? Because I
Which
feel
voice?
Which
Yeah.
voice did you use?
He's basically being disrespectful to 20 years of tennis by yelling that Nadal needs to wear a hat. Otherwise, he's like that Nadal needs to wear a hat to cover up that he's aged in a way that Billy's not comfortable.
I don't think it's a hat. I think it's a headband. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, but I think it's a headband. He did tell us this in private, Dan.
Well,
but anyway.
and that's not how the conversation started. It ended up there. But what
Right.
I was saying was the four of them seem to get together like every other week, but we're making these reunions like this big thing. Like, oh, guess who's here, Rafa? And it's like your friends that probably flew on the same plane as you because you guys are constantly together doing things. And I was just like, enough's enough. Why are the four of them continuing to reune?
I thought he retired like 2 years ago.
I'm
He's still
with
going.
you. I don't know who's active. I don't know who's not. I'm assuming Andy Murray's not, but Andy Murray is not slow behind on who's not aging the best in that situation. Based on aging alone.
Wait, rank him for me.
Based on aging alone.
This
Okay.
is come on, let's not do
No,
this.
let's do it. Let's do it.
You
not
started
do it.
this.
We're here.
Yeah,
I mean,
You started this, friend.
I started it.
Yeah, you started it.
I started it.
Private conversation.
Yeah.
I started it.
All right, we want to go in reverse order, or are we ending
Reverse
on number
order.
one? Or
We're ending
just
on
one?
number one.
Yes.
Build that anticipation.
Who's aging the worst of this foursome is what you're asking me.
Yeah.
I hate doing this.
Any OLIs?
No, there's only four.
So if you come in fourth, you're aging the best, right?
Yes.
No, you're aging the worst.
Oh, see, I would think one would be aging
No,
the worst.
one is the guy who.
One is aging
So who's
the
the
best.
ugliest? As you're asking me, is one.
Well, I mean, you said it. I
Whoever's
didn't.
aging the best is four.
Why are we doing
Go on.
this?
All right, number 4,
What are we doing?
You asked.
Rafael Nadal.
Wow, Rafa.
The best?
Based on looks,
Yeah, he looks good.
He looks great.
It's just a hair.
If I were to see the four of them, I would say that man is the best of this bunch.
Especially if you don't
in
have
terms-
like a bird's eye view.
That's the because Andy Murray's starting to kind of,
Yeah.
and I don't want to infringe on Mike's territory here, but his hair is going.
We're gonna do a sports gossip show that objectifies
That's another show.
the decaying appearances.
Is
of
that
men.
objectification if it's the opposite of good? It's
We
bad?
are not in any position.
I'm not objectifying them. I'm not saying I want to F them. I'm just saying, this is, who is not aging. the
He's
best.
being objective, not objectifying.
Thank you. He gets it.
I get it.
Can you be objective without objectifying?
Yes, that's what you're doing right now.
I don't think that this show is qualified to
Number
tell
4, the Joker.
I thought number 4 was Nadal.
Oh, sorry, number 3, the Joker.
The Joker's.
I thought there was 5 of them. I forgot.
What? He doesn't look like he's 8. Like, what part of him looks like he's
didn't
8?
this
That's
whole-
what I'm saying. That's why he looks good.
Didn't this whole thing start with you saying Nadal aging the worst? I don't think you're playing
Yeah, I
this
don't
game.
even play-
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, then you told me that number 4 had to be the one that was the best looking at this point in time.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I thought this whole thing started with Nadal's aging poorly.
Yeah, correct.
But you just put him fourth, which means he's aging.
No, I
aging
put the
best.
Joker.
Wow, I'm gonna leave.
Federer's
no,
4,
no,
the
no,
Joker's
no,
3.
Federer's 4.
Wait a minute. If you're going to leave like that, leave. If you're going to leave like that, you don't get to leave and then stay around. You need to know that's not how you do that.
He did the thing, Dan.
No.
Elevator, looking at his clock. It's over.
Taylor down there or what?
It's his only move. It's pathetic.
Well, no, he's got the walking down the stairs one too, which is great.
And he
Oh,
has
and he's coming back.
The
He's coming-
sunglasses
coming
too.
back, yeah.
Take the stairs, Chris.
Again,
Elevators out there.
Stairs. The stairs. I love it. Yes.
that show is very well produced. I can't believe I'm saying it.
You know what we can also do? We
What's
can
that?
also do, cut to me, guys, a canoe.
Oh, I like that. But it doesn't sink. Like, I can still see you.
All right,
Whose ukulele is that? Because it's Jeremy's, right? It has to be.
leave. Take the ukulele with you.
Number 2.
Billy, please,
Andy Murray, number 2.
please stop doing this. Please.
I won't tell you one. We won't finish the list. It's fine.
No, now I need number.
No, I'll listen to you.
You know who number 1 is.
Well, I
Only
told you
4.
3 of the 4.
Right.
We know who
I know.
number 1 is.
You got Fed at 4, Joker at 3, Murray at 2.
The problem I have with everything that we're doing right now is I really have a problem with this. These 4 men have been a symbol for youth. I told you the story,
anymore.
Stugotz.
Just Federer.
This is the problem. You guys are mocking the aging descent of legends disrespectfully.
Correct, yeah.
And you're doing so based on their appearance because they're aging better than any of
Well,
us.
they're still good athletically. All I have is to judge their appearance.
We're mocking tennis. Like tennis, just like Pacer fans, needs to move on.
Yeah.
Tennis needs to move on. Needs to move away from these 4 and on to the next 4.
I'm
you know?
awarding the big one. Gather round, people. I'm going to award the big one.
No.
This segment is presented by LinkedIn Jobs. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. Terms and conditions apply.
So David Sampson has arrived. His podcast, Nothing Personal, is not as award-winning or as award-nominated as Pablo Torre's podcast.
Might win the big one, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to award the big one in an hour. In an hour, I'm going to figure out, or at the end of this hour, I'm going to figure out how it is to award the big one. I have put people in the back room at work on, like, get me a trophy. Let me figure out how in the next 30 minutes to award the big one. David, what would you say is the greatest award in podcasting?
It's got to be the Sports Podcast Awards.
Yep.
So,
It's our
so
Oscars.
God bless football.
Yes.
3 out of 4 years, God bless football
Dynasty.
has been beating the Kelseys, Shannon Sharp, beating everybody. So that's considered the big one?
Well, I'd have to say that what Nothing Personal has accomplished there and what God Bless Football, and I'd say that would be good. I think the one that I'm not after ever would be the Peabody, because I just think that it requires a level of gravitas that I'm not willing to commit to on a daily basis.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I don't necessarily view what Pablo's doing. His show is fantastic, but I don't think that being a Peabody nominee all of a sudden brings you into a class of shows that is unheard of or unseen. If you're a multi-time Sports Podcast Award winner, I think then you're in the conversation. It's sort of like Brunson Halliburton. Brunson, to me, is the Peabody. Halliburton is the Sports Podcast.
So, wait a minute. You're saying the awards you've won, those are the important ones. The one Pablo wants that no podcast is ever up for because podcasts aren't high standard enough to usually climb into this territory.
Dan, what he's saying is you win a Peabody, that doesn't get you anything. You win a Sports Podcast Award, restaurant reservations open up, right? Like you get to foursome on the nice golf course with the cool people, right? It's a sports podcast. It's just the potties.
No one wants to hang out with someone who won a Peabody. Nobody.
The potties.
So you'd rather win? All right, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. What would you rather win, a Peabody or the potties? Or what sounds more fun to win, a Peabody or the potties? Because Pablo Torre is he's very award nominated. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. And it's an exciting time for Pablo, but you guys are undercutting it, and it sounds like you're jealous.
No, that's not the case. We just said that when the decision was made to go on this Belichick trail, that might cost him the Peabody.
And maybe a potty also.
Well, what are your thoughts here, David? We are going to award the big one in a second, but what are your thoughts on Pablo Torre? I'm maintaining that podcast is special for a number of reasons, but one of them is because its high can go higher than any other high, and they'll get into a fight occasionally with Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen and do a little, gutter dance to get the clicks, and that's what's presently happening with, slinking around this story that everybody wants to talk about, but nobody wants to actually do the work of reporting what the facts are.
So what's interesting is that what Pablo Torre finds out, and I'm not his PR guy, he's got plenty of those on staff, is that they are able to negotiate around different topics, going from Pippen Jordan to Jordan Hudson to talking about the seriousness of Matt Ishbia's ownership off the court and issues like that, and talk politics. They talk sports in a way that's smart, that used to be reserved for shows that were on linear TV, and what podcasting has become, and Pablo is leading that pack. It's an area where you can do the serious stuff. I think you said dumb, Amin. It's actually what he says is do the serious stuff stupidly and do the stupid stuff seriously. And so his ability to walk that tightrope is what's gotten so much attention for him in the show. And at 3 days a week, it's a great listen. But Dan, today was supposed to be the big announcement for me. I thought I was coming on here to talk about that I was going back on Survivor.
Chris Cody just saw, he heard your 3 days a week.
What a subtle little jab, little industry talk jab.
You gave him a chicken wing. Chris Cody.
Also, the PR guys on staff was also a little chicken wing.
Little chirp. Nothing called chirp.
Little chirp.
That was a
He was going to get away with that bullshit. He thought he was going to hide that little turd in the compliment.
For a 3-day week pod, it's nice.
It's like chicken strips. 5 chicken strips too many. 3's okay. 4 sometimes. 3's
You guys got me.
What do you mean we got you?
You did it to yourself.
4 is the perfect
Got me.
For you.
I'm with you.
Give me
Except
6. I want
Appreciate
6.
the fact that you wouldn't let the subtle thing go and stay subtle.
Okay, so nothing personal, I will and have told you, okay? It's not only popular and successful, those two guys, it also has unusual range. So when I ask David about business stuff, it tends to be more informed, his answers, than just about anywhere else, and you'll have an assortment of other terrain that he covers on Nothing Personal. But when I say to you the reporting that Pablo did simply on owners Ishbia and Gilbert, simply that this year, would you not classify that, which might not be one of the top 5 things that Pablo did on that podcast, that story to be the closest this year that sports journalism has been to reporting the insides of where the rich people do the stuff that can be allegedly, really damaging, and how it is that power comes to be in ways that can make people really uncomfortable? Who's gotten inside the dark rooms of real wealth better than that story in sports?
Well, think about what he does, though. He does it by doing it in a jocular way with very serious reporting and with serious people. He's sort of the anti-Logan Roy's Children in Succession, where he is so serious about what he does because he does it with aplomb. He does it with real journalism and real background and education. And he does it in a way that people can actually understand it and then take away and discuss it outside of the podcast. And that's a tough thing to do. So that is, to me, where his true talent is to make things that seem impossible to comprehend able to understand.
Like a haunted hotel in Oklahoma City.
Can someone tell me, I'd like to know here before we go any further, David, you've been sort of... You've been sort of trying to become the Pope of Meadowlark here. If while you were talking, I saw on a Slack string an employee of ours write, "Are we just going to bleep off Pablo all day long?" to interrupt my thought process, how should I be reacting to that question appearing in my phone from an employee who's working for us in the last 5 minutes? I'm asking you curiously because we were talking about Pablo a lot.
By not interrupting the show and bringing that up.
I hit send on that, huh?
Okay.
It's a little creepy, right? The Belichick
We have
situation
a
now.
thing at Meadowlark that I would like to stop as of today. I believe that what you do, we are teammates. I want to be the Pacers. I want the sum to be greater than the parts at Meadowlark. And to do it, we have to revel in each other's victories, and we have to diminish and cover up each other's defeats. And what we tend to do is the opposite, and we hide it under the view of entertaining content. I think it's way more entertaining to actually look as though we are supportive of each other because we all do need each other to accomplish what we want, as opposed to thinking that the audience wants to hear us MF, Pablo or David or whoever else. I think there's a moment you can do it, Dan, but when you interrupt the show by saying that there's an employee who thinks that we're doing this wrong, it just makes us look disorganized. And I think that I want to profess to the audience that we are a tight-run, organized machine of content every day of the week.
Roy's shaking
Audience
his
is
head
stupid.
no.
I mean, you took the shot at Pablo.
Yeah. How many PR people does he have again?
3 days a week?
You're the one who said that. Listen, 3 days a week for some people is a full week's work. For others, it's 60% of a week's
For
work.
some people. Really championing Pablo in this segment.
No shots taken.
And you're responsible for 15 to 20 hours every week. And that is, you have to perform every day, whether you don't feel well, whether you do feel well, whether you have something important to say or not. You have the ability to keep a huge audience for hours, 5 days a week. There is no greater compliment in the industry than what you do. There's no one else doing it.
Great show last Friday, Dan.
That was Amin and Hawk. They join you often on Fridays to give you a better perspective that is different from me and Samson, but that is not award-winning presently. It is neither award-nominated nor award-compensated.
Give me the big one.
The big one, though.
But the big one is up.
Well, how does that work? Is there one big one, or are there subcategories to the big one?
You got to win the big one.
Yeah, just
There's
got to
only
win the
a
big one.
big one.
Right.
So it's just best show? Like, what is the big one?
That's a good question. This is what I'm going to say the big one is. Thank you for asking the definition. It is the award in the sports podcasting industry that is the single most coveted award that there is by consensus. No one would argue. As soon as I present you what this award looks like in about a half hour, everyone will know why it's the big one, why it's the great, that we are going to give away to one lucky winner what is the biggest prize in the entire industry. That's what I'm saying it is. Is that good enough for you, or do you need better explanation than that?
A little confusing.
I'm happy with that explanation, but it can only be one thing. It can only be money.
It can be many things, and you need to make everything about money a little less. Chris, a lot of people are accusing you for just stealing Austin Powers' moves that none of yours.
Oh, I mean, that's
but none of your stairs or
Behind the
elevators or anything. None of it's original.
The
I
canoe.
think this show.
The
this
canoe
show,
needs to fall off a waterfall, though. It does.
Okay, very good, Stugotz. You show us how to do that one as a professional stuntman.
It's not my canoe.
In my defense, the first time I ever did this shtick, I paid respect to Austin Powers. That is exactly what I'm doing.
But then you
there.
furthermore stole it forevermore.
Well, it's just a funny bit. Come on.
Okay, that's correct. It is.
I laugh every time.
David, one of the things when I talk about the range of shows, one of the things that David does on his show that I don't see a lot of people doing is the following. The Twins sale, David. I don't know how many people care about the Minnesota Twins being sold, but a giant baseball team being sold has an unholy mess of wiring. Can you take us through some of it?
Yeah, this actually is something that everybody focuses on in every sport. It's sort of an obsession of people. How much did this team sell for? What's it worth? When you're out trying to sell a team, you have an idea of the number you want to get. But as you know, something's only worth what someone else will pay for it. And when someone else pays for it, that is definitionally what it's worth. The Twins said, we want $1.7 billion in 2025. And what the buyers have said is, we don't think so. We think maybe 1.4. We think maybe 1.5. And so there's a lot of articles that have come out that the Twins sale is delayed because no one will bid what the owners want. What the owners are not realizing is that baseball right now is at a very interesting point with collective bargaining agreement that is expiring at the end of 2026. There's going to be a lockout. The lockout may last for a long time. It may interrupt your revenues for the 2027 season that you're counting on as part of what explains your purchase price. There is disruption in the TV world. The RSNs are in trouble. Local TV revenue is in trouble. National TV revenue is going to become a much bigger thing in baseball, but it's harder to project what each team will get. When you don't know the revenue and expenses of a business, it's very hard to buy that business. And so the disagreement is that the Twins feel as though they deserve a number that the market is saying no to. And so what do? You do what the Nationals did. You do what the Twins are doing. You take the team off the market. Like when you buy your house or sell a house, if you don't get the price you want, you don't want it to sit on the market forever, so you take it off the market, wink, wink, and then you redo the kitchen, and then you put it back on the market for the price you wanted. The Twins, like the Nationals, are still going to be on the market. They're still going to be sold, and it's the most important number that we'll see in baseball this year, more than Juan Soto's batting average or his slugging percentage. What the Twins sell for will be an indicator of the health of the sport and the timing of that health. And we're paying attention to it on Nothing Personal.
You're guaranteeing a lockout in a year.
Guaranteed. There is no scenario where at the end of December 2026, the players will not be locked out. The owners still cannot stop fighting with each other about what they want in a new CBA. Forget fighting with the players. So when you're still fighting with your own side, what you do is you delay the negotiation with the other side. And the way you delay that is by locking them out. What a lockout means during the off season, it means you can't use the facilities, et cetera. But really, it's a move you make in collective bargaining to try to figure out how to get to a deal. and it's going to be a long one. As you know, the last CBA had a lockout.
Well, what does
and
this
it was
mean?
a
Hold on
delay.
a second. Just put numbers on this, just real quick. And maybe this is common knowledge to you. It was not to me. So you're guaranteeing that not after this baseball season, but after the next baseball season, the sport will lock out for minimum how long?
It will be minimum of 4 months. It will go through the month of April at best. The season will be delayed until May at best in 2027. The underlying economic issues are the following. Can you imagine running a business, Dan, where the employees don't understand that the business does not make the amount of money that the employees thought it did, and the employees still want the amount of money they were getting? That is what baseball players are doing. They don't get what's happening. There will be an adjustment. There is economic disparity that is unreasonable and uncomfortable. And the only way to do it is going to be with a harsh reality of a work stoppage.
And it's just because they can't control themselves because they fight and pay for Soto, and they keep alleging they can't afford Soto, and then they give Soto $765 million guaranteed for 15 years.
Well, that's really a not sophisticated way to look at it.
They have the money, though. It can be a not sophisticated way to look at it, but once we get to the point of we don't have a salary cap, we do not have the benefits that basketball and the other sports have of being able to control their dumb owners who are rich guys who always get what they want. So the salaries are going to be $765 million for 15 years, and you're going to be paying for the last 7 years of a guy's career, whether he's playing or not. Those numbers lock the sport down. Right there. Just fans don't understand it. How is Soto worth more by that many millions guaranteed than LeBron James? Get out of here.
Yeah, so that's not why the lockout happens. It's not because Soto got 765. The lockout is actually over things that you wouldn't think about, like what the minimum salaries are, what the total salary you can have per team, how revenue gets distributed amongst teams like the Marlins, Guardians, and Royals from teams like the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees. Those type of things are far more important than one player being 2 standard deviations away from other players. That's not really between owners what they're talking about.
All right, but David, the change that's going to come from that, and I'll get to other subjects in a minute, correct me if I have this wrong, is they delay it, then they make the season shorter, and then we just get shorter baseball seasons because baseball is going to play differently than they used to. Or are the TV dollars too much that they can't play fewer games?
Well, it's not just that. We tried to lower the season, shorten the season in 2015. We wanted to go to 154 games. And that meant that home teams would lose 4 games each, every team. And teams like the San Francisco Giants, the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they said, no, we want to play the full 81 games at home because if we only play 77, then you need to pay us, they said to the commissioner, you need to pay us back for those lost home games, where teams like the Marlins, the Guardians, and everyone else said, yeah, not a big difference between 81 and 77. We're good with that. And so it's the big fight that we have on the owner's side, not wanting to shorten it, but then the players also. The players were told, hey, if you go to 154, you're only going to get paid 154, 162nd of your salary. And the players said, no way. Pay me the same amount of money to do less work. Can you imagine for a minute doing less work and asking to be paid the same amount of money? I don't quite get that.
David, can you give us and the audience an idea like how valuable those home games are? What do the Yankees make on a home game? Just one home game.
So there's a big difference between what the Marlins make and what the Yankees make. Mm-hmm. Just like there's a big difference between what the Warriors make and what the Pacers make. It's based on average ticket price and what the per cap is for each fan because they're spending more money in certain stadiums than others. For the Yankees, just think about their ticket revenue alone. Let's say the Marlins can be at $20 to $40 million in ticket revenue. The Yankees can be at $100 to $150 million in ticket revenue. That's just ticket revenue.
Crazy.
That's not counting food, bev, merch, parking. It's not counting the difference in the average ticket price. So none of those things come into play when we give you a gross revenue number. There are huge, huge differences between the teams.
Nothing Personal is growing in personality, growing in audience, growing in all the ways that are important. Will it win the big one? I don't know. We're going to find out in about 10 minutes. We're going to let David go on that note. But before you leave, just tell us about the movie review that you're doing for this week, because we've been negligent about not letting you do this the last few weeks.
I'm still watching a movie every day, Dan, no matter what I do on Nothing Personal or Beyond. A new movie came out called Fountain of Youth. I hope, Amin, did you watch it yet?
I've seen it. I haven't seen it.
I've seen of it.
Seen
I've
of
seen
it,
of
yeah.
it, yes.
Seen of it?
I've seen it, David.
The commercial.
if
We've
that
seen the
helps.
commercial for it, David. It's a ripoff of Indiana Jones, but go ahead.
It feels like that. Yeah.
It was a ripoff to me of National Treasure and Indiana Jones. It was one of those movies that was put together by Apple and greenlit because it has a great cast. Anytime you've seen Natalie Portman in a movie, who wouldn't want to see that? Or John Krasinski, I'm in. The problem is I've seen the movie before. It wasn't interesting to me to watch people go on a treasure hunt trying to discover this fountain of youth that may or may not make Dom Gleason die or never age or never die. Not invested at all. 2 hours plus of my time. It was like a repeat. So I would advise the audience, you don't need to watch The Fountain of Youth. Instead, go back and rewatch National Treasure and give a little moment to Nicolas Cage for what was an original, fantastic movie that I was proud to watch and watch again. So, Dan, what I did is I finished watching Fountain of Youth, and then I watched National Treasure right back to back so I could do an immediate comparison in my head, and I was not disappointed. Nat Treasure all the way.
Imagine Nadal, Federer, Murray, and Joker searching for the Fountain of Youth.
David, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Because that one, the Cup of Christ is supposed to give you...
Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail is supposed to give you immortality. That's a more apt comparison.
I thought you didn't see the movie.
All right.
Well, I mean, just based on your description.
You know what, Samson?
You don't get the show.
I've seen of it is an old callback. You don't get to be around here anymore. We did a joke from a long time ago, and you stopping the show and balking. I appreciate your time around here. I appreciate your analysis, but you're done for the day. Thank you. Good seeing you.
Good luck to you, David, on the big one.
Yeah,
Thank you, Stu. You too.
All right, so we've got 15 minutes before I announce the big one, and 15 minutes before I tell you, or through which I'll tell you what some of the nominees are, because I urge all of you to check out the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
Wow.
His producers, Yeti, one of them, scampering to the bathroom in order to be late to produce the show poorly and, crudely. The chemistry that these people have made it so that in the last episode, I learned what it looked like to see Greg Cody in a Best Buy, that Greg Cody was loudly right over his son, who was yelling and screaming that there was no such thing at any point in time about an adult bookstore. And I'm pretty sure that Greg Cody did not know the word for dildo.
What?
Wow.
I let him, he was trying to look for it, and I wanted to help him, but I was just like, no, this is good. You try to find it.
You could have done that for the rest of the 3 episodes, and I would have enjoyed listening to your father fumble about a dildo.
Nominee? Or?
Yes, but probably not likely to be the big one. That's the hardest one to get. But
Wait, are we talking awards or?
I am in the next 13 minutes. Who's confused about this? I'm going to award the biggest award there is in sports podcasting. I get to decide. No one will disagree.
Okay.
That's a hard standard, correct? It's a hard.
Well, we can't disagree, so yes.
But as someone who likes to under-promise and over-deliver, you would agree that it would be pretty bold to say, I am going to award a winner. There will be no argument. This will not be subjective. We will all agree that this is the big one. That's a hard standard to meet. I believe I'm going to meet it. We'll see. It'll happen before the end of this segment.
I think that's the hardest standard there is, right? If only one person gets to
and
chime
we all
in,
have to agree.
we have to disagree.
But up for it is the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
Wow.
Because,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
This is the Greg Cody Show first nominee for the big one.
it's I don't. These things are allegedly subjective, but I would say
Not this time.
Should I call my dad and tell him?
Put him on
It's a big-
speakerphone.
I
Let
don't
him
think
know.
he's going to win. I don't want him to be.
Well, no,
disappointed.
just let him know he was nominated for the big one and see how excited he
Here we go.
gets.
So excited.
Dan,
so excited.
It's an honor just to be
You've
nominated.
been nominated, Greg, for the big one.
You have to be really excited.
Who needs me?
Did you hear we got nominated for the big one?
Dad,
Hey,
did you get the email?
no.
I just saw we got nominated for the big one, the Greg Cody Show.
What?
The big one.
What are you talking about?
Look, check your email. We are nominated for the big one.
Christopher, this is going to be a joke. I'm not next to my email right now. What are you talking about?
Do you know who's won the big one before? Are you aware of the big one?
No.
Well, we're nominated, and it's big.
Okay. Okay, I smell a joke.
I mean,
All right, I'm live on the air. You're trying to get me to be all excited about winning a fictitious big one.
No, it's real.
all right. Well, the problem there is I would never be that eager. I overacted there. I did too
Why'd
much.
you just
Billy,
hang up on
Billy
him?
gave me
You didn't say goodbye or anything.
Billy gave me the note before of you got to be excited, and so I turned it up too much.
Chris, I got to tell you, great urgency.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
And it's real. He
But
was nominated for the big one.
But it gave off like he instantly.
Ass on, ass on.
Hold on. You just ended the phone call by hanging up
Well, I
on
mean,
him.
come on.
Oh, your
Call him
dad.
back. He deserves
just-
better.
You got to call him back. Yeah.
gotta
Loves you.
So they were nominated because their chemistry was good there.
They're the only
But-
nominee right
Yes.
now.
Well,
you
They
say
could
Overactor?
win unopposed.
You say they're the only nominee, but I would say that everyone right now who does a podcast, and that is everyone, because everyone does a podcast, they're all nominated right now, and within 10 minutes, one of them is going to get what would be considered by all the others to be, by consensus, the big one.
Well, then it's not an honor to just be nominated,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the whole thing, right? When they
Everyone's-
say, "Do you think you're going to win?" It's
Right.
an honor to just
Everyone's
be
nominated.
But if
right.
everyone's
like every
nominated,
team making the playoffs.
yeah,
Everyone's
Crazy.
eligible, not everyone's nominated.
There you
Is it
go.
just podcasts or like MMA Hangout eligible?
Yes.
Nominated?
That's more of a hustle award, like Draymond Green wins over here.
You
sorry.
calling me a Shanghai Shark? What the f-
Yeah.
Have you seen our numbers recently, buddy?
No,
Champion.
well, not
A
recently.
champion.
Thank you.
What do you mean, a Shanghai Shark?
You could call him a Shanghai Shark. That's what Stu said.
I didn't call him that. Draymond Green is a
He
legendary.
said, "Why do you wear green on the show?" He was doing this and that. Shanghai Shark. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Poor Greg.
Monolith and whatnot.
He hung up on
He's
it.
fine. He knew it was
What do you
like
mean,
he
poor
called
Greg?
me
He's
out.
nominated.
Like,
I mean,
Still rude.
It's an honor just to be
God
nominated.
bless football. God bless football is also nominated. While I'm talking here and as we build up to the big one, can you guys just roll Knicks fans from last night and just B-roll of Spike Lee and just an assortment of sad Knicks that we have not given the people enough of because we're talking about ourselves instead of being WFAT.
I'm just picturing like Ben Stiller and Chalamet. Like, you want to go? You want to go to Game 4? PJ, I'll pay for this one.
Yeah.
I'll get there. You get the way back. It's like an Uber for them.
Who called who?
I think that's Chalamet. He's like the super fun guy. Like, come on, Ben, we need you. I need you there with me. I got to check my schedule. I'll work some things around. And the next thing you know, he texts him back, I'm in.
What happened to the Pacer fan who had been hit with trash? That guy is a big winner today,
Made
right?
a star. He's on McAfee the other day.
Okay.
I mean, just
Paraded around.
a little much, right? Walking into the airport,
Oh,
people
get
are like,
outta
thank you for
here.
your service,
Guys,
sir.
I think you guys are too down on this
No.
Indiana story, man. You guys are being bad to Indiana. Indiana can deserve to enjoy this, man. They don't get a lot of moments like this.
Trash Boy doesn't get to have this moment.
right.
Halliburton
fever.
does.
You're right.
John Halliburton definitely does, right? Pat McAfee, I'll give it to. Mike Epps, he'll get it too. This guy, get out of here. Get him off of my screen. I don't want to see any. This guy is basically being rewarded for being an instigator. He went outside and instigated a riot, incited a riot.
Waving like a queen.
They just shook his hand
He's
like
like
the pilot.
It's so good.
Get outta
I
here,
want
man.
you
Is
guys.
that a key to the city?
Look, I want
Those
it.
are overrated.
He is a firefighter. That's why he's running the fire trucks. That part is not just
Okay.
pomp and circumstance. He's one of them. That's cool.
Back
If the
the road.
firefighters want to make a big deal about him, have at it. By the way, you know what a firefighter who starts a fire is? An arsonist. That's what that guy is. He walked in there, he incited a riot, and then, I got hit by trash. Oh, feel bad for me. Fly me to the game. Give me tickets to the game. Get out of here.
I can think of no greater symbol for where it is sports are today in the in the currency for our attention that we have made famous the guy who's famous for getting hit by New York dumpster juice because New York throws trash at people when it's feeling good about itself up a couple games in the playoffs where they haven't been for 25 years.
Doesn't this encourage Knicks fans to do what they did? No. Like, this isn't discouraging. Like, I'm going to be meaner to a Pacers fan
It's the greatest
next time.
reward you could give a sports fan today. Make me famous around my team. We had this conversation when it happened. I'm saying I wouldn't want the dumpster juice. I wouldn't want to be hit by trash. And all of you are saying, hit me with that trash. Just make me a star.
Is he going by himself to the game, or does he get like a +1? Because like now we may be encouraging a situation where like I go out and I'm like, hey, Tony, you want to go to this road game? Like, throw trash at me.
Yeah.
And then be my +1. No one's going to verify who threw the trash at me. Like, this could be an inside job where his friends were throwing trash at him, and now he's got free tickets for him and his friends.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. What if he got a +3?
That's what I'm saying.
So he had his friends dress up as Knick fans and throw trash at him? I like it, yeah.
God Bless Football is up for the big one.
Congrats, Billy.
It's an honor just to be nominated. This is God Bless Football's first nomination for the big one.
Oddball is up for the big one.
Wow, mean, congrats.
Seems somewhat
that?
biased,
Congratulations.
this award.
Well, but it's also Bill Simmons and Pardon My Take.
Wow.
And the Kelseys.
They're all up for it?
And
Spitting Chicklets. Keith
Yeah,
Yandel will join us
McAfee.
next.
Just throwing those in there.
Yes, and Club Shay Shay. Like I said, everyone is nominated.
Again, now that makes it less of an honor.
Yeah.
Well, to be nominated, but to win, what I'm saying is the honor will be the honor, and it'll be in 3 minutes.
Is this show nominated, or is there like a bias here because you're the decider of the big one?
Greg Cody's show, very happy to just be in the conversation. Want that known.
He didn't sound it.
No, he was at first. He said, "What?"
His first was
His
like,
first
really?
reaction, and then his second reaction was, "This better not be one of the jokes." Like he was literally upset that you would play with his emotions like that. And then by the end, he was like, "Ah."
How about the triple option with Urban Meyer? Is that nominated?
It is.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
It's the Oscars now.
Great
There's
name for a
50
pod.
nominees.
What do you think the third option is?
What's Right with Nick Wright is one of the options.
Okay.
Also joining us today.
He's going to be here in a little bit as well. Yes.
What's
Acceptance
right? First
speech.
nomination.
Can you guys, Chris? I saw you rummaging around trying to find me a trophy that we can give.
Oh, no, they're prepared to present it whenever you're ready for it.
Oh, they're prepared.
They're going to walk it into you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are you
We
laughing
need a couple
about,
people to walk
Stugotz?
that sucker in.
Really? Okay.
It's pretty big, huh?
What do you
I
got?
was wondering if stupidity
It's
was
the
up
big one.
for the big one.
It is also.
Oh, wow.
Congrats,
All
Stugotz. That's
Congratulations.
two.
Yeah.
Master of
Very good,
upsets
very
if
good,
you
very
win
good.
with one episode in 2 years.
This is Stugotz's second nomination for the big one.
All right, let's walk in the trophy to Dan. Let's bring Dan in.
the big
It's a
one.
big
Is it
trophy.
Wow.
Whoa!
Look
Hold
at
on.
that.
Don't hurt yourself, Mike.
That's the big one.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, it's got a little crown on it too.
Wow.
Who wins?
Okay. Well, hold on a second.
Look at the butt on that.
For
Yeah, you must work out.
Statues have great butts.
They got great butts, man.
Yeah.
Lots of
Created in the
squats.
lab, almost.
You never see a statue where you're like, leg day? Like,
put it on the poll.
Pancake back
at
there? What's going
Lebitard
on?
Show. Do all statues have great butts?
Yeah.
At Lebitard Show. Stugotz. So just for the audience, so they understand, what is a very short way to describe what this award is?
It's the big one, Dan. It's the trophy that everyone wants to get in the podcasting business. I hope that I win the first annual Big One award. It's a very, very, very tiny trophy.
It is, yes, that is correct. And it is a very big prize, though.
The smaller, the bigger, Dan.
And the bigger, the smaller. Welcome to Pablo Torres Finds Out.
Well, that's nominated. That is nominated.
Wow.
Because what do you mean?
This is Pablo Torre's first nomination for the big one.
But I would describe it more shortly as it's the prize everyone in podcasting wants.
Well, I said that.
And you did say that.
I did.
And our show, this one, has won it. Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations.
oh!
Wow.
Let's go.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show's first win of the big one.
Was it nominated, though? I mean,
Congratulations, guys. We have signed a new deal with DraftKings that is one of the best deals that you will find anywhere in the industry to continue our partnership with DraftKings. They've been the best partner that we have ever had, and now we are long-term working
We
with
back,
for
baby!
each other.
The big one!
Yes, the big one has been won.
Oh, good music. I like this.
DraftKings will support all of the things that we do around here in a way that will allow us to continue to make Pablo Torre Finds Out and God Bless Football and Greg Cody's show featuring Greg Cody and Oddball and the Hockey Show and MMA Hangout. And so congratulations to the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz.
Way to go.
For winning the greatest of the trophies, the money.
Someone tell Barrett Media.
Are we at a carnival?
We're announcing.
Yes, please just keep circling, writing about the Le Batard Show in demise.
Oh no! What's
Please.
happening?
80-20 my way? Or?
You can have 80% of the Big One trophy.
I was talking about the quiche.
Yes, God Bless Football, also one of the winners. We are the winners. The crown is ours.
Yeah.
That's. But in all seriousness, if I can just for a moment thank our sponsors when I tell our audience, the most loyal audience that there is, honest to God, I cannot thank you enough for your value, because your value and your loyalty is the reason we've been able to do everything that we have done so that DraftKings may support this thing that, belches and stumbles around. And they have supported us as the best partner we've ever had. And it's not just because of the money. It's because they let us, in a really fractured media time, have real freedom and independence the way nobody in this business has. They let us do what we want, they fund it, they support it, and we've learned so much together over the last few years. And this rocket ship is about to take off and grab all the things there are to be grabbed.
Like the big one.
Yes, it starts only with this
How about
big
that
one.
trophy?
It
Give
starts
yourself an
only with
award,
this
man.
big one.
Weird.
But I know I haven't said it in a while, but I say it all the time. It's because no matter the turbulence, the audience comes with us. It's a hard and rare thing, man. Reality's got it, but in the history of this business, there ain't a lot of people that take the audience with them. Bayless took a little bit of it, but not because the audience really knows. No, these are the people I do this with, and I do it 3 hours a day. That's what DraftKings is paying for. That's Stugotz. That's the best symbiotic marriage you can have with your audience, when the audience funds it that clearly and the sponsor understands it and gives the audience and the show the freedom it needs to actually partner. I mean, so blessed to be able to have the greatest gift, the big one, which is you get to keep doing it. Look at what we're doing for a living. Look at how Chris Cody is dressed. Look at how Billy has dressed for 10 years. This is not the height of executive corporate greed and front office.
This took a turn.
Yeah, but taking shots at us. You bought new clothes 2 weeks ago.
It's a weird acceptance speech. You won the big one.
You know what? I don't have to stand for this. Cut to me, guys.
No, hold on. The elevator's not working. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm grateful for all of you.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Why are you so excited here, Chris? Why are you?
We're having Yans on. We got Game 5 tonight. We just re-upped with DraftKings. Like, what a day!
Crown is ours.
You gave out the big one. I mean,
you're saying You're saying Yans.
That's how we talk, hockey guys.
Stugotz loves this. When you call him Yans, I don't know what to do with him because he's been a combination of rubbing his hands together, the way that Stephen A. Smith sort of moves his neck back and forth when he's preparing for a fight. It feels like Yans wants to talk playoff hockey in a way that's rough and tumble
should call him hands.
Because the Panthers are very and clearly, obviously, champion good. But I think it'd be fair, Chris, to fear the Edmonton Oilers because the idea
one team at a time, Dan.
Okay, so Keith, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. What will you tell me about the excellence of the Panthers at the moment? Because I think I can make the argument that this team is better than the one that won the championship.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me. And 20 years of the show, amazing. That's pretty incredible stuff. But yeah, the Panthers they're a juggernaut. Like what they've built the last few years is pretty insane. Just the depth that they have, even losing a bunch of guys. They lost one of their best defensemen last year with Brandon Montour, and you bring in other guys like Seth Jones, Nate Schmidt, like guys who just came in right away and clicked with that group. And I think it just says a lot about the leadership in that group with Barkey and Matthew Tkachuk and Aaron Ekblad and Sam Bennett. So a lot of credit to those guys, the guys that have been here for a while, and showing the new guys the way of the way that the Panthers have handled their business the last few years is pretty incredible.
Chris, what are you doing? What's the matter?
I'm
with
just listening to Yans. What are you talking about?
You're applauding. You're wandering.
Well, I'm just
around.
like as he's talking to me.
He's hyped up.
To be a
Excited,
Panthers
big
fan.
game tonight.
He's getting juiced.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Zito has constructed this roster over his 6-year term with the Florida Panthers. Yet he's been nominated for the GM award 4 times and hasn't won yet. Talk to us about Bill Zito's influence on the team.
Yeah, I think it's everything from when he first came in here, making hard decisions. And one of those was, getting rid of me, which, happens in sports.
It's where the whole thing started.
Genius.
We can all
100%.
celebrate. Yes, this is, let's not change the history of this. The greatest move, the best of the moves that started all of this, taking over Tampa and Florida, was releasing Keith.
He's off the books in the offseason.
100%. Yeah, off the books. But you know what? At the end of the day, when someone gives you, $50 million, you got to root for them. So I will be a diehard Panthers fan for as long as I live. And I love rooting for these guys, especially, there's still a lot of guys that I played with here. And, they're still great guys, great friends.
Everyone else hates them, though, right? The Canada hates them. The hockey hates them. This is what level of hate does this team deserve, earn, beat out of you?
I honestly don't even think it's hate. I think it's more like everyone just respects them. They respect how hard they play. They don't cheat the game at all. They play really hard. In playoff, there are some things. There's been some suspensions, some controversy, guys running into goalies or cheap shots. But at the end of the day, that's part of the game, and that's why they're, about to make their 3rd appearance in the finals in the last 3 years. So whatever they're doing, I think. Fans probably hate them more than other people, but the players, just everyone around the league, I think respects.
But that's what I was talking about, though.
Well, let me clarify. I think what he's saying is that Canadians, people who live in Canada, people who live where you grew up in Massachusetts, where hockey means something, they hate that the best hockey is being played in Sunrise, Florida.
No,
that's the thing.
And also they're viewed as a team that whatever on the line on the dirty stuff that Brenda Moore has to say. Hey, you got to be careful about when you retaliate with these guys because, that reputation's earned, is it not?
100%. And if you're a winning team, you have to have that. Like you look at a guy like Brad Marchand, every fan base, everyone in the league hates him. And then you bring him over to your team and you love him. And that's the best compliment a hockey player can get is I hate playing against him, but I'd love to have him on my team. And I think the Panthers are, their whole team is pretty much constructed that way, where guys you hate to play against, but you'd love to have on your team. And it's when that all comes together like it has, it's a fun showing. But yeah, at the end of the day, the fans are going to hate it, especially the Canadian fans. Like they're shoveling snow 8-9 months a year, and here in Sunrise, we're in our pools or on the beach.
That's a cheap shot. No, see, that's a cheap shot. What he just did there. That's a chicken wing.
See, I think our fans.
That was a chirp. That was a chirp.
Playoff hockey, Dan. It's playoff hockey.
Come on, you saw what he did there. He did. He just did what. What you did the same bullshit Stugotz did. Where it's like in Toronto, they're fishing. They're ice fishing in their igloos.
They are.
It's stereotyping, and I won't allow it.
Really.
I won't allow it because I'm scared of Edmonton. And I just want that on the record.
I will say that this fan base has come a long way the last 4 years just in terms of knowing puck. But one criticism that I have for this Florida Panthers fan base, and please, Jans, you talk to them because I've already looked at the camera multiple times, tried to tell them, stop shouting Knight during the national anthem. He's not on the team anymore. Please, maybe they'll listen to you. Just you're embarrassing us, Panther fans.
I 100% agree. I was at the game on Monday and in a box with a bunch of my friends, and we all looked at each other at the same time. We're like, he's literally not on the team. I don't know why they're doing this.
So annoying because they do it, and then you hear murmuring right before it's coming. You can hear the crowd being like, "Oh, I hope they don't do it. I hope they don't do it." People yell Knight, and then afterwards, the whole crowd's like, "Oh, come on, what the hell?" It's the worst.
I don't like anything being said during the anthem. The only good one that and people are just screaming is during the Blackhawks anthem. But I think during an anthem it should be dead quiet. Even when they chant Red or Night or in Washington the Stars do it, and then Washington they do an OV one. So, but I'm old school. I think it should be quiet, and that's a time for to respect the people who served our country.
He was up for a big one too. That was a small window you got in there with that.
Do my best work there.
The Panthers, when you look at what it is that is the pain of the Edmonton Oilers, and I put behind it as well, the pain of Toronto stinking when they want to be what invented the sport in big games. The suffering that McDavid had not winning against Florida last year, when in that sport, if you do have the best player on the ice, you come back from down 3-0, Edmonton's pain must be kind of unbearable as far as sports pain goes. How does that make them better this year?
Yeah, the thing that scares me about them is it's, the old school, start of a DVD, championship DVD, and I can just see it now of like Connor McDavid flipping out in the locker room last year about how they need to be better and, they'll be back in this situation. So it does scare me when the best player in the world, and I personally think he's the best athlete in the world right now, when he's on a mission the way that he is, and at the end of the day, he knows for his legacy to win one, especially in hockey, it's so much. It means so much more to win a championship for your legacy than any other sport, I think. So I think he's one of those guys that he's just driven every single day. He's not just happy with being the best player in the league. He wants to go out and win championships. And when he's on a mission like it looks like he is right now, it's definitely scary, but as confident as I am in the Panthers, like he's a real concern. And then with a 1A, 1B, with him and Leon Draisaitl, it's a scary competition every game, and they're playing really well. But like we said earlier in the show, we got to finish this series first, and they got to finish
but if I can stop you for just a second on this, okay? Best player in the world, and you just called him best athlete in the world. I have not heard a lot of that. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can the best athlete in the world be a hockey player? But best athlete in the world, who are you rejecting when you arrive at Connor McDavid is the best athlete in the world?
Maybe I would say the only one close to him, I think, is Shohei, just because of what he does. Obviously Patrick Mahomes, but I just think in pure athleticism of being able to skate as fast as Connor does, and the way that he can handle the puck and make players around him even better. I don't think that there's a guy in sports that can dominate the way that he does, because hockey's so hard. Like, you go to a game, like there's not a lot of room on the ice there. It's not it's so hard to beat NHL players one-on-one or make them look silly, and he does it, pretty much every night. So it's that's kind of why I might be a little biased because, how hard the game is for some people, even for me who played in the league. Like, it's hard, but for him, it just looks so damn easy every single night.
Well, but the thing I guess that I'm asking you here, because you know the history of the sport and you know the particulars of what greatness, what is required of greatness, to be this much better than everyone else, to suffer the worst of the pains, for everyone who's watching you to know, oh, this is an all-time great. This guy could be the best ever. I've never seen something that's this much better than everything around it. For that to lose, the way it rings eternal is that it comes back and wins. It takes the championship from the team that broke him and the team that is empirically better late than any, because they will strangle you the way OKC will in basketball. So in this spot for the legacy, McDavid always wins, Keith, if he is what you think he is.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he's one of those guys that, I think if you'd ask him, like, he would want to beat Florida. He wouldn't want to get an easier matchup and have.
Oh, come on, Jans. He wants Carolina. Come on.
I think he's wired differently. I think, people talk about if they got that dog in them or whatever, but I honestly think that he's that type of, he has that type of mentality where he wants to slay the dragon. He wants nothing handed to him, and he wants to go out and earn it. But it's still going to be a tough task to do it to my Cats.
Keith, in round 2, you had a bit of fun with noted Toronto Maple Leafs fan Paul Bissonnette. Why don't you talk about your rivalry that you have with Biz?
Yeah, well, the thing, like, he gets gifted a ambassador's jacket. The man never played 1 minute for the team. I know he scored a goal against them, and it was like a charity game that we let him play in because he was from that area and his dad hadn't seen him play. So we went to the GM and the coach. We were like, can we please put Paul in this game? His dad has never seen him play. So yeah, I really don't understand it, but no. At the end of the day, Biz is so good for our game, and the attention that he brings every single night, especially on TNT and the podcast, and bringing out guys' personalities. He's an amazing asset to the NHL.
All right, I've got to stop him because slay the dragon. I'll allow nothing handed to them.
End of the day.
Well, he got and then got to earn it. Once he's got to earn it, like I'm done with his. I'm
hockey cliches.
I'm done with his analysis. I don't. It doesn't, because it does. It's not that he knows good. He knows good and well that the vocabulary has to rise to meet this moment.
Guy wins one big one.
You're talking about.
I'm going right to his head.
You're talking about coming after Connor McDavid here and a rematch of last year's finals, not last year's final. It's the best story, correct? Again, Canada trying to take this from the swamp.
Yeah, and it's been since 1993 that a Canadian team has won the championship, and I'd be lying to you sitting here if I said that I wasn't happy about that. I love.
He's coming back. Don't worry.
The fact that the Stanley Cup is going to go this fall. No, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's staying here. It's gonna get a nice tan this summer down here.
Oh, is the Stanley Cup gonna get a nice tan? Is the Stanley Cup gonna get a nice tan?
Elbow room.
Speaking of staying here, paint a picture for me where we keep Sam Bennett next season.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. I think the whole league is looking at that because just the impact that he brings. Obviously during an 82-game season, the way that he plays, like, he's not going to get you 100 points, 110 points. But, when that puck drops in playoffs, he's, probably the number one guy any team would want on their team just because of what he brings every single night. He's a heart and soul guy. I honestly think that he's going to stay here in Florida. I think it scared me a little bit. He's a Toronto guy. Kind of scared me a little bit that he would go to Toronto, but the way that they treated him after he, accidentally ran into the goalie and knocked him out for the series and he was getting booed. I think they shot themselves in the foot on that one. Obviously, I have no clue, and this is all speculation, but I think that if there was a chance he was going to sign there, they ruined it.
Your real feelings on Marchand? Like, I don't like the way this is going around here. Like, honestly, your hatred's not in any way real if it's totally fraudulent and it can be bought this easily.
Well, for me, I love Brad. I played with him in junior, so I've known him since he was 16, 17 years old, and he's a guy. He's been in Boston. He usually stuck around there in the summertime, so I would skate with him and work out with him. So I know him a little differently than other people, where they just know his antics on the ice and licking people and slew footing people. But I know him off the ice, know how good of a guy he is. So I have a little different aspect. If I was like a Montreal Canadiens fan and then, hated him and then he got traded there, I think I'd still hate him.
We have a Panthers fan in our midst, I won't name names, that refuses to this day to say it. Like he's that guy of, no, I'll never root for him. What do you say to that Panther fan?
You know what? If you really love the team and he's helping the team win,
Right.
you can be happy for it. But I also do respect somebody who truly hates an athlete, because I've been there. I've been there before, and I've met guys that I did not like. And
Who do you truly hate?
Name one.
Who
do you hate?
Who do
Name
you
names.
give-
least
Yes. who
my
do you-
least favorite athlete of all time is probably VJ Singh, and I don't know why.
And what did he do to you, VJ? I mean, harmless VJ Singh. I mean,
I don't know why. He's probably the best guy in the world. Too.
What a weird.
if you gave me a million guesses,
What
I
a
mean-
weird. VJ Singh, all he did was represent golf himself and his country well, and you hate him for no good reason.
He gave us nothing. He literally gave us nothing. Like, I never even heard him interviewed or anything. And I'm sure he's the best guy. He's probably an unreal family guy.
It doesn't make any sense.
What did he do to you?
Why would you hate
Dan,
VJ Singh?
You know what I love is that he didn't even have to ponder the question for a second. He had a name ready.
knew it.
It was
No,
VJ Singh.
Wait, Yandel's a big golfer. You lost a bet to him, did you not?
I demand an answer. I demand to know why you hate VJ Singh, please.
I don't know. It was him and Paul Gasol. I've always hated. I do not know why.
The two nicest guys in the world.
Probably the two best guys
All
ever.
right.
I don't know.
All right, thank you, Keith. Good talking to you. I want to go around the room. Do you guys have anyone in sports that you just hate them and you've not examined it at all?
Ty Wigington.
Sidney Crosby.
No, but
No,
this
you know why.
Keith Yandel.
no, you know not Roy. He's still here.
He
Billy.
heard it, and he has words for Billy. I believe he was trying to come back to Billy. Oh, he wants to come back on.
He wants to come back
Yes.
on. Billy always
Yes.
does this.
Take the
Keith.
gloves off.
All right,
Yeah.
yes, Keith. You just heard that. You heard
Yeah,
that that chicken wing on the way out. This is a wild Billy Wednesday, Keith. Now he wouldn't say it to your face. He waited till you left, and then he said, "I've
Billy,
always."
anytime, anywhere you want.
What's going on here? I thought we were going to be friendly here.
A little charity fight. You want it?
Charity fight. Jeez,
Charity
please.
boxing. I'll set that up.
I'm donating.
Okay.
He left and then heard you.
I was joking. I saw I was there. I wanted to ask him if he thought Nadal was ugly now. We didn't get to it. It's the thing we've been talking about all day today, Keith, is we were ranking Nadal, Federer, Murray, and Joker on their looks. But we didn't get to it with you, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to objectify them with us and judge them as not attractive as they age, the way Billy was doing?
Keith looks great for his age.
Oh, he
I
looks
don't know.
fantastic.
But
yeah.
now you're sucking
I
up.
don't know how they look. I don't really. I'm not a huge tennis guy, so I don't
never
really know
mind.
how they've aged.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you
You
go
brought
then
this to a
on that
screeching
note.
halt.
Yes,
Get out of
yes,
here.
that's totally his fault, not your fault in any way. You are just doing what you do on Wild Billy Wednesdays, which is you never know what's going to happen. Billy out of nowhere might just hate Keith, and what are you gonna do about it?
VJ Singh.
It's so weird,
random.
It's so strange. So I asked
love
the
it.
rest of you though. Because Roy didn't understand how to play the game. He shouted Sidney Crosby. We all know why you hate him. There's no confusion about why you hate him. It's in fact, I got to penalize you because it's
Why?
just
Oh, why?
because
Why?
I mean that's not playing the game correctly, isn't it? Isn't it obvious to you that that's that's just how do you choose Sidney Crosby just because you believe him to be?
We've got a penalty, 5 minutes. Major asshole.
Oh, major?
The game is, I don't understand what he just did. Have you,
The kid.
if I'm going to hate somebody, I've got to have a reason, don't
Yeah.
you?
No. The game is there is no reason, right? There is no reason why he hates VJ Singh.
Well, no, he doesn't like VJ because VJ didn't give us enough. He didn't speak enough.
No,
That's
he
what
didn't
said.
say.
Right.
He said no. Quite the opposite, Stugotz. He said,
well,
"I
he
don't
didn't
know."
speak too much, that's
He
for
said, "That's correct." He said, "I don't know why I hate him. It's not like he ever even said anything." You've got a quiet golfer.
Uh-huh.
known for not being interesting. Like just and great though. Like or
okay.
Hall of very good.
Yeah.
Not just okay.
Hall of okay.
Vijay Singh was not just an okay golfer.
One major.
It's all right. Put it on the poll. Vijay Singh, good or great?
No, good or okay. It's not good or great. No, Chris. He's being a purposeful asshole about Vijay Singh's career that shows no respect for it, even though he's our golf expert.
3 majors. That's a fine. Yeah. He did win the big one.
Did he?
Augusta.
Was he nominated?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's better than okay.
It's good. I'll upgrade it to good.
Look at that. That is why we're the winners of the big one. Don't say this show cannot evolve. He goes from being a primitive ape to evolving before your ears and conceding that Vijay Singh, 3 majors and the Masters, might be better than okay. The ultimate critic, ladies and gentlemen, Stugotz. It's why he's the owner of the big one, which is flimsy and light and hollow.
Dante Bichette.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You hated Dante
I
Bichette?
didn't like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Tony, do you have any of these?
It's T.J. McConnell.
Oh, no, that's
Rat bastard T.J.
Roy.
McConnell.
Go sit with Roy.
Oh, no.
I mean, like you did the same thing that Roy just did.
No, but mine is
No,
less known. T.J. McConnell versus Sidney Crosby started the league. And
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Everyone know why would T.J. McConnell not be liked? Because he's pesky.
Yeah, but when Roy says Sidney Crosby, I know why that is.
Thank you,
I
Chris.
don't know why Tony hates
you,
T.J.
Chris.
McConnell.
Exactly
It
right.
seems kind of random.
No, but it's pesky. Like, of course, everyone knows it's the way he plays. What are you talking about?
Everyone who's not a Pacers fan hates T.J. McConnell.
What do you,
How about Aaron Aflalo, Dan? Is that
Okay,
good
that's
enough?
a good name.
Aaron Aflalo, you like that one?
Good name. That's a good name.
how are you still here?
Jeez, he never did anything. He was just always there, wearing number 4 for the Magic. Who cares?
Playing the game, say what Dan wants to hear.
That's correct. One of my favorite games. Let's get to Stugotz's top 5 athletes who played in the wrong era, please. This is very exciting from yesterday. I can't believe we didn't get to it yesterday. This is why DraftKings pays the big bucks for everything that's happening around here. He takes yesterday's thread, which was about Andy Murray, and points out the great point of if Andy Murray played at any other time in human history, he would be the greatest tennis player any of us have ever seen.
Right.
But because he played with these 3 guys, he's 4th best forever, and no one cares. He will be okay in a future iteration of the tennis show with Stugotz that doesn't respect athlete feats like Vijay Singh's.
3 majors, surprising. I mean,
And Augusta.
yeah.
And you just...
Well, I knew Augusta. It was the 2 PGAs that surprised me.
I know, but the okay.
Yeah.
Like he's
I
just
upgraded it to good. I mean,
no, it's just a
a
major
rare upgrade.
A major evolution. Fair enough. Any OLI?
It's the Andy Murray top 5 guys who played in the wrong era. He has naming rights to this list.
Wow. Okay.
And I just have a straight 5 here. Number 5, Wilt Chamberlain. He played at the same time as Bill Russell. Right. Russell was his kryptonite. If there was never a Bill Russell, we'd be talking about Wilt Chamberlain as the greatest winner of all time.
Can you imagine Wilt in the social media era? Oh, my God.
Dominating.
Everywhere. This guy's with Arnold. He's hanging out.
Number 4, Phil Mickelson. Unfortunately for Phil, played at the same time as Tiger. Had Tiger never played golf, Phil would be considered probably the greatest golfer of all time.
Lefty.
Number 3, Peyton Manning. Played when Tom Brady played. I mean, listen, people thought coming out of college it was going to be Peyton Manning who would win 7 Super Bowls. It was not. It was a guy out of Michigan, Tom Brady. And Brady kept everyone else from winning the proper amount of Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, number 3. Number 2, anyone who could shoot threes in the 1990s.
Dale Ellis.
Reggie Miller.
Del Curry.
You're putting Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got you.
And number 1, anyone who played when Michael played.
Yeah, I was literally getting ready to start naming Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley,
All of them.
Reggie Miller,
Stockton Malone,
Clyde Drexler. Who else?
Kemp and Payton.
Yep, everybody.
I want to read for you guys just some information. Danny Chow of The Ringer on last night's Pacers game and Knicks game. I think most of us are assuming that series is over. Stugotz will hide his tears from you for a while. I suspect he might evacuate for weeks if the Knicks lose, so he doesn't have to deal with any of this. But the Pacers are now 11-3 in the postseason and 45-17 since the new year. So it's a 60-win pace. Last night was Halliburton's 11th career game with at least a 15-0 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's Chris Paul territory. Stockton, he's only 25 years old. Like, that's the game that he had yesterday on the Knicks is sort of where stars get born in important moments, because you're just spinning the game on your finger like a Harlem Globetrotter. And the other part of this, and I mean, I want you to speak to this as OKC, I believe will choke everyone out because they have the chokehold that you need. Brunson with Nesmith on him, 30 minutes, 3 for 13, 10 points. Brunson with Nesmith off him for 7 minutes, 5 for 6, 7 for 8 free throws, 21 points. Like, I told you at the beginning of this series, like, oh, I'm not used to seeing Brunson sort of smothered physically, like getting the ball up, but just not able to do what Halliburton was able to do in yesterday's game.
I don't think he took a shot in the final 6 minutes of the game, Brunson.
Well, but Nesmith, this is how, I mean, you'll know the history of basketball this way. This is why a player of this size throughout history gets ground down by the end of whatever this is, because the physical nature of the people who are coming after you are bigger than you are, and Brunson's physical type can only get so far unless it's Isaiah Thomas. Then he beats you in the fourth quarter on a broken ankle.
The thing about Brunson is, you got to understand, he's not an explosive player, right? His whole game is footwork and IQ and sleight of hand and things like that. So when you get someone like Nesmith, who not only is large, but also very disciplined, right? Great defensively disciplined. And then you throw on top of that, oh, this isn't I'm playing Nesmith tonight, and then tomorrow night I'm playing someone else. It's no. Rick Carlisle has been saying this the whole time. It's 13 days. It's 13 days. This is day 6. This is day 7, right? All they're thinking about, all Nesmith is eating, sleeping, shitting, is just Jalen Brunson information, right?
He's actually shitting Jalen Brunson information.
Yep. Well,
he's going to the toilet.
Yep.
He's
That's
going
the waste, though, the info he doesn't
You said
eat.
he's literally – I made fun of Richard Jefferson yesterday for saying literally. Game 3 of Thunder, Timberwolves, lives were on the line.
They were.
Game for your life. Yep.
They were on the line. Dan, this is important. I don't know if you heard, Shane Battier had this quote on his podcast where he was talking about Eric Spoelstra, the reason why he can yell at refs and not get teed up, it's what he yells. And he says, what he yells is, focus. This is important. This means something to people, right? And
It's
so
like encouragements almost.
yeah, it's almost like I'm disappointed in you rather
It's
than
guilt?
Yeah, he guilts him.
It's just guilt,
This
a
is
cloud
important.
of guilt.
This is important. This means something.
It's a way of saying do your job.
But it's also not tech worthy.
Yeah, and that's exactly why he does it.
But the way that
It's
you're
polite,
saying, it's clear rage, but it's also just shouting at someone, care about your job, seems like helpful advice.
I appreciate that effort there, but you screwed up a little bit.
No, that's no.
Can't say screw.
But I appreciate your effort.
No.
I appreciate it.
Says, focus. This is important. This means something to people.
Chris.
I don't even which
I
people.
appreciate your effort. I remember that was the front end. For a slight,
But you screwed
I
up.
disagree
It's
slightly
not-
with that call, but I appreciate your effort.
Chris,
No
you're-
disagreements.
You're doing the feedback sandwich, right? Like good feedback, bad feedback, good feedback. He's not doing that at all.
No, Chris. How do you guys not know how to play any of these games?
I'm just trying to. What does Dan want me to say?
Yeah, that's the game.
That's the game. And what I want you to say is that Halliburton has a 44-6 assist-to-turnover ratio in this series.
Sheesh.
I mean, you're talking about Brunson. He's averaging 33 points a game.
Oh, but Stugotz, that's not the way to do that one, I don't think.
Rick Carlisle will be upset with you. Rick Carlisle said yesterday in the press conference.
Team game.
He said it's a team game. He's sick and tired of all these questions about individual statistics.
Okay, so Stugotz is going down, though, on Knicks in 7. And so I would ask you, you wanted the Knicks, you want the story. Stugotz is also saying, I will not watch Pacers Thunder. Just not going to watch it. No. So Stugotz, who hasn't cared very much about basketball the last few years in a way that would be noticeable to the ear, the Knicks have not hurt his feelings.
Stugotz, have you watching Pacers Knicks?
Yeah, I'm watching Pacers.
Okay,
yes.
all right. Just making sure.
Just started watching.
But you're saying, what is the argument for or against Knicks in 7? I don't think much of New York is doing this today. Even the most hopeful New York fan has had some of this beaten out of him because what I'm telling you, Stugotz, over a long series, they're not going to stop exploiting that Brunson's the liability when he's on the court defensively. He's the worst defensive player in the league by metrics. And I know we don't measure that stuff well, but what I'm telling you is when there are 4 teams left, You can't have one of those, and it sure as shit can't be your best player.
And the tough part is you have probably the best point guard right now in the NBA dissecting and using you as a secondary screener. All right, let me switch back onto Brunson. I think I saw a stat where there was 25 one-on-ones with Halliburton and Brunson where it was just like he's cooking them. It doesn't matter.
Halliburton will not do that against OKC. He is looking like this for now because this team is not as good as OKC. Amin's been telling you all year, nobody's beating OKC. But for this round, you take out New York. Now you have the storyline, and this is how it is generational players become in their time. Indiana last offseason went through, those knuckleheads could have beaten Boston. They were in all those games late. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to win. Then the next year they come back. They appear to have grown some. Maybe that hurt a little bit. That's interesting. And they take out New York. And they take out New York as a dog. And they take out loud New York when Jalen Brunson's got the clutchest guy. But now Indiana says, no, we've got the clutchest guy.
Clutchiest.
And we're bringing his dad with him. And we're bringing his dad with him.
That was a nice look, though, by the Pacers, right, to let John Halliburton back in?
I guess, yeah.
If the Pacers win the championship.
What'd you say there?
I said it was a nice look for them to let John Halliburton back in the... No,
It's
come
time
on,
for
guys.
a new game. Don't look now.
Damn it, I mean.
Don't Look Now, presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Dan, are you looking?
I was looking, yeah, I'm sorry.
But you're not looking now, right?
No, I'm not
Okay, no,
looking
because
now.
I just wanted to inform you, A.J. Cole of the Las Vegas Raiders is now the highest paid punter in the league.
Wow.
What's his number? Not that I'm looking.
15.8 million.
Oh, wow.
What?
15?
To
It's a punter.
punt?
It's a punt, baby.
I would have thought it would have been half
Teach
that.
your kids how to punt.
Oh, my God.
Don't look now. In some good news, rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. The Broncos will induct Demaryius Thomas into the Ring of Honor.
Congratulations.
Is being a kicker or punter in football the thing in sports that people think they could do? Like, what's the thing in
What your dad
what would
did.
be your easiest path to being a professional athlete?
I'm going to tell you right now, punter for sure, right? Kicker, there's a lot of pressure. I got to hit this shot. I got to make these extra points. Punter, just get it the hell out of here. Oh, my God, I could do that.
Just kick it far.
I can do that.
I'm not looking, but it's a 4-year, $15 million deal
Yeah.
with $11 million guaranteed.
That's a pretty good guess,
Yeah,
Billy.
15.8 million.
It's a lot of money. I just don't understand how this game works. If it's don't look now, why wouldn't you want me to look at Demaryius Thomas being remembered?
It's
in
more of
way?
a heart thing. You feel that.
you feel it.
You feel it.
Okay,
You don't
so
have to
don't
look. You
look.
feel it.
Yeah.
Don't
Feel
look
it.
now. No, do not look, but feel.
Okay.
Feel
and,
now.
And I want you to feel.
Bill Yates.
You feel the absence. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Of absence of
Kirk
what?
Cousins.
Where is he?
He's not at OTAs.
I felt kind of weird.
You know what?
Right
I was
now-
looking, and then I closed my eyes, and now I do feel it.
Coach
It
Morris
helps.
says, I don't know where he is. I'd like him to be the backup to Michael Penix. Kirk Cousins, I don't think he wants to be the backup. I think he's a starting quarterback somewhere. That's what he thinks.
I don't know enough about that sport and sports in general to understand how Kirk Cousins went from looking really good to having a noodle arm 1 week later and then suddenly couldn't throw a football because his arm wasn't strong enough. I don't know what happened to his arm. I don't know what they're telling us about injuries. It was all weird.
Then he had that 500-yard
Right.
game on a Thursday night. We were
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
then-
he's back.
But then he couldn't throw the ball at all. Yeah,
And then he was done.
He won a night game, and then it was all over, and it just all of it happened too quickly.
It was because of the Achilles.
You're right. Tony, don't look down, but I'm hearing the Steelers, Kirk Cousins, and some rumblings.
Should I put the blindfold back on?
I mean, as it relates to the Knicks and the Pacers, what is the argument to be made on behalf of New York? Because the reason I'm burying them is I am saying once you have zeroed in over a long series on what Amin is saying, I know we like to say basketball players, whatever, they don't care enough, load management. Once you've gotten to this point in the season, Neesmith isn't thinking about anything other than burying Jalen Brunson because of how much everybody was talking about Jalen Brunson. And you already said this, yes?
You're turning into Stephen A. Smith right there.
I'm repeating what it is that you have said, except you said it less gracefully because you made it shitting chunks of information.
Yeah.
And what I am saying is a very proud athlete who, if he's not at the top 1% of 1% of competing with other people for money, is very good on a team with Siakam, who's also very good. When we're playing a lot of perimeter defense, we've got athletes all over the place, and proud enough to be like, Jalen Brunson, yes, I know you're special. What do I get if I show you're not that special? What do I get if I'm the one always running through screens when nobody cares about basketball, and then I hit 6 threes? Oh, I get to ride Halliburton into whatever the next part of this story is? Cool. We'll do it with some positionless basketball, and we will be a story that everyone hates. but they'll remember it for the rest of their lives because Amin might say this isn't the best Pacer team of all time, but it has a chance to be.
No, it has I mean, obviously, you got if you win a championship, you automatically get to say that. I don't think they are going to win a championship, but they're in a position to go to the finals and reach the heights that the prior greatest.
Well, but what I'm saying is I remember that team you're talking about as the elder, and what I would say is this team is a better team than that one. I know what you're looking at when you say Reggie Miller and Dale Davis and Rick Smits and Detlef Schrempf and all of these people that you're speaking of.
Austin Crozier would like a word.
Austin Crozier, talking about
Antonio
stretch
Davis,
4.
yeah.
Travis Best would like a word.
This team would smoke that team. This team is better. It's not just the difference in the game, though. It's not just the difference physically of whatever it is that the Davis brothers were. That doesn't exist in the sport anymore, shooting 16-footers.
Dan Le Batard, if we played against that team, they would say about Reggie Miller, Mama, there goes that man.
Mark Jackson.
There it is. That's what I'm
Come
going for.
on.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would argue with me that this is the best feeling professional Indiana basketball has had beyond Paul George.
Because I asked the guy who's called their games since 1991, hey, is this the best? And
Yeah,
he said
but
no.
old people are great at being nostalgic.
He covers the game.
Right.
He's not like just
he calls
remembering.
the games.
He calls the games. He loves what's happening. He's telling me, no, this is great, but it still has a way to go to hit where, because it's not just that, that team went to the finals. It's where it started. Prior to Reggie Miller and the Davis boys and all that stuff, they had been to the playoffs in the NBA twice in their history. They've been to the playoffs twice. All of a sudden, you're making the playoffs. You're going to the conference finals. You're losing at the cusp. You're almost there. You lose to Michael Jordan in Game 7. Again, that 1998 Game 6 Reggie Miller game winner where he just starts spinning around. That's like one of those that's a Ray Allen moment for that franchise.
They lost the series.
I know, but no one took Michael Jordan to 7 games.
But they lost the series.
But no one took Michael Jordan to 7 games, and that's 1998 Michael Jordan.
So what do you agree with what he's saying right here? Taking Michael Jordan to 7 games is more impressive than getting to the championship.
Well, they haven't gotten there yet. They made it to the NBA Finals one year.
Number one, they haven't got there yet now. Number two, that team went to the finals 2 years later. So it happened. They did it. They went to the finals, and they played against Shaq and Kobe. And
he's an elder.
Unk.